The third day, which ought to be in all of our preaching, all of the time. All of the time. Oh, my brother, you have no better word to preach than that third day. It belongs not to one Sunday of the year. It belongs to the charisma of the Christian proclaimer every time. The third day. Yes. In the imagination of the eye, of the mind.
Yes.
Yes. I seem to see night beginning to disappear.
Yes. Yes.
Morning begins to draw a thin pencil of light across the eastern sky. The moon begins to rush out of the sky, the queen of the night, to make way for the king of the day to rise. The sky begins to blush shyly at the love call of the dawning.
Yes, sir.
As morning comes, the strong Son of God shakes himself. That grave which held Adam strains under his movement. That grave which somewhere in the lonely, lost summits of Nebo held Moses begins to shiver. That grave from which Abraham could not be extricated begins to tremble. That grave which the lyrical poetry of Isaiah could not move begins to tremble. That grave which was not charmed by the music of David begins to tremble. Look at it. Look at it. The strong Son of God lays aside those garments dipped in blood, clothes himself in the glorious apparel of his lordship, steps forth into the morning light, declares, I am he that was dead. Behold, I'm alive forevermore. I've got the keys. I've got the keys of hell and death. Christ lives. Of course, we ought not merely repeat that in any parrot fashion. We ought to apply it to every circumstance of life. Christ lives. As you drive along Stemmons to the freeway, Christ lives. Women preparing their dinner, Christ lives. Men going to their office, Christ lives. I have just come through a great teaching and testing time, as many of you have. I have passed through surgery. And I have come out of it surer of one thing than I've ever been before. Christ lives. Lives in me. Christ lives. I do not know how long I have now, but as long as I am to preach the gospel every time I preach it, in one way or another I shall declare Christ lives. Let every tyrant pressing his heel upon the necks of the oppressed know Christ lives. Let every faker in every high political office, wherever it is, know Christ lives. Christ lives. And if thousands are still to hear my voice, as please God they have in the years gone by, I shall declare to them, Christ lives.
Yes,
but if I am to end in some humble and rustic chapel, preaching to some simple people, in some backwater of the land, I shall say to them, Christ lives. And when time hoarsens this voice, and whatever ring there is it upon which thousands have heard, have listened, I shall whisper, however throatily, Christ lives. When I come down to the slippery shores of Jordan, I have but one crossing password. Christ lives. I shall pass through its swelling current with those words upon my heart. Christ lives. When I stand on the shores of everlasting deliverance, I shall repeat those words. Christ lives. My spirit will sweep through the celestial plains. I will cry again. Christ lives. When the gates of new life open to me, I will shout again. Christ lives. As I go stately stepping up the broad avenues of the glory land, I shall salute angels and archangels, prophets, priests, and kings with the glorious word, Christ lives. When I kneel down before the lily white throne at his nail-pierced feet, surrender my commission and thank him that he made me a preacher down here, I shall cry once more, Christ lives, lives.